Aaron Gross from Parenting Explained. How are you? Because I'm great. We're still in our summer vacation over here and I'm just chilling out. I just came back from a lovely walk outside. First it was raining, pouring, and then all of a sudden it's sunny. Just have a look at this sunlight over here. It's just crazy. The weather in Melbourne, Australia just changes around. So, I mean, we say in Melbourne, Australia, you get all four seasons in just a space of a few minutes, and that's what happened. I'm just outside here now. It's really sunny, as you can see, but just before it was pouring. So I'm healthy. I got my exercise in, which is really important for the day. I like to do a bit of walking, a bit of running. It's really important that if you want to be a good parent, you've got to be a healthy one as well. Diet, exercise are important if you want to be healthy, to hold your kids, run around with them, and jump around with them, and God willing, in the future, play with my grandchildren as my kids grow older. But today, what I really wanted to discuss with you was about following the steps of successful parenting. There are hundreds. No, there are not hundreds. There are thousands of books that you can read on parenting. Are they all good? Well, I think that you need to take them in. You need to read about them. You need to glean knowledge from what lots of gurus have to say about parenting. But at the end of the day, not all the things are going to work all the time. Not all the steps are going to be applicable all the time. Sometimes they apply, sometimes they don't apply. And that's where you've got to use your own, what I call, common sense in parenting. And that's again to what I've discussed in previous videos about the idea of taking a step back, moving towards this neutrality of saying, yes, I hear what you're saying. It sounds good. Is it going to work for the qualities of my soul on my particular children in my particular circumstance? You can never say never, and you can't say always, because sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't work. There are just so many factors involved, and I know there are so many gurus out there that are telling you to follow these 5 steps over here for timeout. Pull a kid over there, put them on the mat, or let them sit there, let them put their face in the corner, whatever it is, whatever the steps are for timeout, whatever the steps are for disciplining your children. It's not as simple as they say it is. I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to them at all, but it really also depends on your state of mind at the time that you're applying these particular steps to your children and helping them grow up to be better human beings and individuals. So what I tend to do is with my own kids, again, I try to take a step back and I try to think, well, here are the steps that I've been given over here. Do I want to apply them? Should I apply them? And I've really got to go to a certain extent with an inner gut feeling that's coming from a space of calmness, tranquility, and clarity. If I'm not in that state of clarity and I'm going to follow any set of steps of instructions, then chances are I'm going to be a lot less successful than what I am when I'm putting into practice those steps. And those steps also really need to resonate with me as well. If I'm going to follow anybody's instructions on anything and I don't feel good about it, then chances are they're not going to work as successfully as well. You need to step back after you've done what you've done. You need to assess. You need to be brutally honest with yourself and say, look, did that particular tactic that I used, did it really work that well? A good example is that which I've discussed already, is the concept of timeout. People know the concept of timeout, of letting your kid go in the corner, go on the mat or whatever it is and have them time out. Now you can follow all those steps, but when you're busy having that coaching conversation with your kid at the time that they're timed out, if you're not in a good state in your own mind based on what you're thinking, then your experience and your interaction with your loved one is not going to work that well either. So first and foremost, before any steps, is your state of mind, which really is the key ultimately to good parenting and living a good life and having a better experience in the world as a whole. But coming back to the parenting side of things, if your state of mind is frizzled up and you're not thinking very clearly, then I'm not sure how well any steps you follow in anything is going to be that good. On the other hand, you may not have all the steps perfectly, but if you're in a loving state and you're operating from a higher sense of inner self-love and recognizing your own qualities together with the qualities of your own kid, and that interaction of love and understanding comes across in their interactions with your child, then even if, for example, you're timing them out and they're in a negative situation, but because you're standing back from the situation, you're not getting so reactively personally involved, your techniques, whatever they are going to be much, much more effective. So the takeaway from today is that at the end of the day, on any difficult situation that I have with my kid, I mean, sometimes I have, I want to strangle him. He's driving me nuts. I just want to take his neck and wring him. Well, if you catch yourself thinking that, then the first thing you can do is say, hey, I'm having a thought, I want to kill this kid. And when you think that, straight away you're already catching yourself in the act of reactivity. And when you do that and you realize, hey, this is just my thinking, and I can just change it like that to another thought and realize, hey, those thoughts are not going to really serve me so well when I have to have that conversation with my child. So maybe you need to step back for 5 minutes before you even go to talk to your child or do anything. I remember a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, Yitzhak Volovic, he told me he was so angry once at his kids, he went in his room and he timed himself out and locked himself in the room for about 20 minutes because he was burning, because he wanted to hit his kids. He was very reactive. So he says, rather than go hit my kids, I'm going to go lock myself in my room. And the kids were running around in the house. They were safe, but he was safe in his room, locked away from his kids, till he could calm down. Once he calmed down, life was already going to be different. He was obviously going to approach the problem at hand in a much more strategic manner than rather a reactive manner. So again, the most important thing is trying to catch your state of mind at all times and looking at what you're thinking, because what you're thinking is creating that state that you're in. If you're not in a good state when you've got to have a difficult conversation with a kid, maybe it's better to do what my friend did, lock yourself in a room for 10 or 15 minutes till you calm down, and then go out, okay, and now let's talk. Let's get into action. Let's get into that ring, and let's work things out together. Hope that helps you. It certainly has helped me in the past, even though I'm a human being and I also stuff up at times and I'm still reactive. But at least I know that it's like an elevator. Your state of mind is going up and down all the time. So when I'm sort of maybe midway of the building or at the top, that's a good time to do things. When my elevator, my state of mind is at the bottom, so to speak, that's a time to just sort of wait till I come out of that. And I know that I always will, because every human being has this innate health, this inner resilience within themselves that's going to boost them. Hope that helps you in your parenting. It certainly has helped me, because I just recoiled back and let's try again. And that's why, thank God, I've brought up these 5 beautiful diamond kids of mine that I do have good relationships with. Until next time, this is Aaron Gross. If you like this, please click on the like button. If you like this as well, subscribe and hear more, because I've got lots to offer. Bye for now.